Hello, I'm John Sargent, back with another video chat. I'm on vacation deep into Cornwall in one of my favourite holiday haunts. For many years in the summer, I've left my home in London to charter a yacht in Plymouth and sail here to the Helford River. In that direction is the estuary and the rocky coast. In good weather, and as now with a reliable crew, my brother, one of my sons and two grandsons, this is holiday heaven. Helford is a natural haven, surrounded by open fields and upriver, plenty of creeks, streams and abundant wildlife. Strict planning laws have been enforced. Herons and egrets love it, and so do rich outsiders who spend millions on grand homes. Fortunately, on the water, a kind of democracy prevails, with mooring fees low enough to make yacht chartering here not so far out of line with renting a cottage. Out in the open sea for centuries, ships have passed along one of the world's greatest maritime routes. History has been on parade so many times in these waters that any list is bound to be inadequate. If you'd been here in 1620, you could have seen the Mayflower sail by with the founding fathers of America. Some years later, you could have spotted Sir Francis Drake returning as the first Englishman to circumnavigate the globe. Luckily, he was back well in time to sort out the Spanish Armada, which also passed this way. But the image I treasure is of Napoleon defeated at Waterloo and put on a British man-o'-war at Plymouth, while the Admiralty tried to work out what to do with him. Tourists flocked to see the ship moored in Corsan Bay, which we sailed through this morning. He would sometimes come out on deck, dressed in his best uniform, and give the onlookers a wave. Armed Royal Navy picket boats were deployed to keep the crowds in order. It was eventually decided that Napoleon should be taken to the remote island of St. Helena in the South Atlantic. I would love to have seen that three-masted sailing ship with its illustrious prisoner off on his final voyage. I've been talking about events which took place close by, but not actually in the Helford River. And one of the reasons is that because it doesn't have a deep water harbour, unlike Falmouth or Foy, it's always been a bit out of the way, a place where, if need be, you can hide. And that's what's given it a special place in history. For the best part of 300 years, from the beginning of the 17th century, the Helford River was known for smuggling. We've been reading Daphne du Maurier's account in her novel Frenchman's Creek. The more trade was taxed, particularly the local business of tin mining, the more smuggling took place. Many of the local gentry turned a blind eye. All sorts of French goods, from wine and brandy right down to salt, were kept hidden from the unpopular forces of the Crown. One of the most notorious smugglers from round here was Sir John Killigrew, pirate and sometime governor of Pendennis Castle. Queen Elizabeth, apparently without irony, ordered him to look into the whole business of piracy. He was sometimes described by a contemporary as a man who would keep within the law, but only out of fear of punishment. The Killigrew family were friends of Sir Walter Raleigh, and the story is told of him returning from America and sharing with them the completely new delights of tobacco and potatoes. No doubt someone suggested they'll never catch on, but plenty of the folk tales in Cornwall are not so familiar. Apparently, superstitious seamen were particularly concerned if they spotted a white hare before setting off, and if a clergyman was seen nosing about your boat while it was still tied up, only a fool or a madman would set sail. Well, I've been keeping my eyes open. You may think our trip has become a little heavy on history and a bit short on mucking about. Well, you don't know my two grandsons, who are 14 and 11. They are, needless to say, the most important, I was about to say passengers, but no, ever since they picked up a winch handle, they are definitely crew. And I don't believe in being too organised or bossy on a boat. It only makes young people long for freedom. And I think we can all agree, in the words of one of Kenneth Grahame's characters, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, half so much worth doing as simply messing about in boats. And where did he start writing The Wind in the Willows? Oh, just round the corner, a few miles away, at a hotel in Falmouth, our next stop. And until next time, cheerio.